Now, at least 3 Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in South Kashmir's Shopian district. In a statement, the Indian Army said that the Operation Keller took place in the Shukru Forest area of Keller village. The terrorists were identified as Shahid Ahmed Kuttay, Adnan Shafi and Asan Sheikh Kuttay. Now, Kuttay, the operational commander of the Resistance Front, TRF, which is an offshoot of LeT. The security forces released the visuals of the massive cache of arms and ammunition recovered in the operation. The mission was a joint effort by the Indian Army and the Jammu and Kashmir police. The forces also shared the credit for the success of this operation to shopkeepers, community who stood by the security forces during the entire operation. Authorities continue to gather intelligence from the operation site. Forces remain on heightened alert with security grid lines tightened across the valley. And to give us more information, WION special correspondent Idris Lone is joining us for more. Idris, thank you so much for joining us. We know the latest that has happened. What is the security situation right now there, and what is the latest that you can bring on this piece of news?
Well, Jyotsna, about yesterday's encounter, the Indian Army displayed all the arms and ammunition that was recovered from the 3 terrorists who were killed yesterday in the Shopian district. One of them was a top commander of the Lashkar-e-Toiba who was basically wanted from 2023. He was involved in a lot of killings and attacks that had taken place in the southern part of Kashmir, especially of one of the sarpanches as well, while as 2 other terrorists were also killed with him. One of them was also involved in the non-local killings that have taken place in the southern part of Kashmir as well since 2024. So the encounters finished yesterday only, but the arms and ammunition that were recovered from their possession from the operation site were displayed for the media today, which also included AK-47 rifles, grenades, magazines, as well as wireless sets. So Indian security forces calling it a huge success, saying they had been on a lookout for these terrorists for a long time, and finally they had an input about them yesterday, and within a few hours the operation was completed. It was a joint operation of Jammu and Kashmir police, Indian Army and paramilitary forces, and they called it a big success. On the other hand, in Shopian district only, we saw how posters were put up of the 4 terrorists who were involved in the Pahalgam attack. There is a reward money of 20 lakh which has been announced. If at all anybody gives any info about their location in any part of Kashmir division, they will receive that money and without their identity being revealed. On the other hand, we also the security forces are continuing their combing operations across the forest areas of Anantnag, Shopian, Kulgam, as well as Pulwama. The combing operations have not stopped after the Pahalgam attack. They're still looking for the terrorists who carried out that attack, and we also saw how the security forces have gone after the over-the-ground workers and their networks, and around 90 of them already booked under PSA and UAPA, while as security forces also know that there were around a dozen over-the-ground workers who were in constant touch with the terrorists who carried out the Pahalgam attack. So it seems that the operations of security forces have intensified across Jammu and Kashmir, especially to look for the attackers, for the terrorists who were involved in the Pahalgam attack.
All right, Idris, of course, we'll be keeping track of any more developments coming in. Thank you so much for joining us now and giving the latest.